Welcome to NightScroll, the place where real stories meet mystery, fear, and the unknown. Tonight's story begins like any ordinary school trip, just a bunch of seniors looking for an easy day in the woods. But what started as a harmless fishing trip turned into a desperate run for our lives. This is The Hidden Tent, Secrets of the Woods. Let's begin. Back in high school, I had this class called Personal Fitness. You know the kind. The class you take when you're just trying to coast to graduation. It was a joke, really. No tests, no homework. We played basketball, threw golf balls around, half-heartedly swung tennis rackets. Easy A. Great excuse to skip gym. Then, one day, the teacher announced a field trip, canoeing and fishing at some lake in the middle of nowhere. I wasn't thrilled. I've never liked water, and the idea of sitting with a fishing pole for hours, not exactly my thing. But hey, it was 3 hours out of school. Everyone went. The bus ride was about 30 minutes. We got there mid-morning. A decent-sized lake, quiet, wrapped in dense, looming woods. There was a dock, some picnic benches, and then just trees, deep, endless. Our teacher gave us two choices, canoe or fish. I chose fishing, mostly to avoid the canoe. My friend Sean tagged along. We threw our lines in, barely trying, just talking about sports, school, college plans. After a while, we got bored and started wandering. And that's when we saw it. A trail. Narrow, overgrown. Not really a path. More like something deer had carved through the underbrush. We looked back. No one was watching. So we shrugged and walked in. The deeper we went, the quieter it got. Birds stopped chirping. The wind faded. The trees grew closer together, blocking the light. It felt like stepping into a different world. Still, heavy, off. 15 minutes in, Sean stopped. "I got a pee," he said, stepping off the path. He was gone for maybe a minute, but when he came back, something had changed. His eyes were wider, his voice was low. "There's something in the woods," he said. "What do you mean?" I asked, thinking he saw an animal. He said, "No, like a tent, bright green. It's not far, maybe 100 feet off the trail." I didn't know why, but I suddenly felt nervous. The air seemed colder, but we were dumb high school kids, and curiosity always beats caution. So we left the trail and pushed through the underbrush. And then we saw it. A neon green tent, half collapsed, barely visible through the trees. A few feet away, a pile of blankets and garbage. We crept closer. It didn't look like a camping trip. This was someone living out here. It reeked, body odor, mildew, something worse. There were old cans, empty food containers, ripped clothing, cleaning supplies, dirty clothes, bottles. Inside the tent were more blankets, all matted down, as if someone had slept there recently. And then we saw the corner of a blanket lifted slightly, and beneath it, bottles, pills, needles, a broken liquor bottle. Our stomachs twisted. "I think someone's squatting out here," I said quietly. "No kidding," Sean replied. "We should go tell someone." We turned to leave, and then we heard it. A snapping twig, not far. A heavy crunch of boots. We froze. Then, through the trees, we saw a figure. A man. Gaunt, filthy, his clothes hanging off him like rags. His face was pale, his beard thick, and his eyes locked on us instantly. He stopped in his tracks. His gaze darted to the tent, then back to us. His face contorted, and he yelled. A deep, guttural curse that echoed through the woods. He knew we'd been in his home. Sean didn't wait. He turned and bolted. I followed, crashing through the brush, getting slapped in the face by branches. Behind us, we heard him shout again, louder this time. And then the unmistakable sound of footsteps pounding behind us. He was chasing us. The woods were a maze. Trees seemed to stretch in every direction. Thorns caught our clothes. Roots tried to trip us. I could barely see Sean ahead of me. My lungs burned. My legs screamed. I risked a glance back and saw the man, maybe 30 feet away, running, sprinting, with something in his hand. A stick. No, maybe a club. We burst out onto the edge of the lake, but we had no idea where we were. The shoreline looked unfamiliar. No people, no dock, just water and trees. We kept running. Branches tore at my arms. Mud sucked at my shoes. At one point, I stumbled and fell. Face first into a patch of wet leaves. I scrambled up and kept going. Sean had disappeared. I was alone. I ran until I couldn't hear him anymore. I kept going, zigzagging through the woods, completely disoriented. We were lost. No trail, no signs, just endless trees in every direction. Every part of me wanted to panic, but I forced myself to keep moving. And then, somehow by pure luck, I stumbled onto the trail again. I nearly cried in relief. My hands were shaking as I pulled out my phone and texted Sean. He'd made it out too, found his way back from the other direction. We met at the dock, out of breath and covered in dirt and scratches, just as the class was starting to pack up. Still shaken, we pulled our teacher aside and told him everything. At first he gave us that look, like we were exaggerating or trying to mess around. But the more we talked, the more his expression changed. When we described the tent, the trash, the needles, and the man who chased us through the woods, his face went stiff. He didn't argue, didn't ask many questions. He just said, "All right, everyone, let's wrap it up. Now." We moved fast. Within minutes, we were back on the bus, pulling out of the park. We never heard anything else about it. But I still think about it, about how deep in the woods we were, how fast that man moved, and how furious he looked when he saw us near his tent. We were never supposed to be there. We saw something we weren't meant to see, and if we hadn't run fast enough, maybe we'd be the ones missing.